Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another movie review. Today we're tackling kind of an older film. This is actually going to be Hardcore Henry. So before I actually left for Disney World, I went to the exchange and I bought this for like $6. I've always wanted to see it. You know, it's essentially kind of a standing landmark, I guess, or a landmark in history in terms of film, because it is the first person film. So think of like, you know, Call of Duty or Skyrim or freaking any first-person game, you know, where essentially, if I say Call of Duty, you should know what I'm talking about. You just see the arm and the gun, that type of thing. And, you know, that's very popular in video games, but in terms of films, it really hasn't been done before. You know, you don't really associate film with first person, and this film actually did the entire movie. It's only about an hour and a half. But it is entirely shot in first person. I mean, they got like a freaking dude, like a stunt guy, and they put him in a GoPro camera, and he's flopping and jumping around, you know, he's kicking and punching and shooting. And at first I was a little bit nervous, because when the movie was announced, I wanted to see it, but of course it was R-rated, and I was not old enough. Now that I'm 23, I just kind of honestly forgot about the movie, and I was like, oh, it's only like $5 or $6, let's freaking buy it. And, you know, it is really unique in that sense, but I kind of have to have two different ratings because, you know, in terms of an actual film, I have a few things to talk about. But in terms of the actual, like, you know, the content of the film, you know, the way it's shot and all that, but in terms of just being the first-person film, it succeeds in that account. I mean, it really effing does. It's a great-looking film. It's shot well. I was kind of nervous, you know, oh, is it going to get me motion sick? And, you know, I don't get motion sick. I just went to Disney World. I didn't ride Space Mountain or Guardians Cosmic Rewind, but you know, I do a lot of rides there, and I don't get motion sick on those. You know, I play Call of Duty, Minecraft, you know, I play a bunch of games, third and first person, and I've never gotten sick before, so I figured I wouldn't be that bad. But thankfully, I watched the movie last night, and I did not get sick or feel weird at all. So if you are nervous about feeling a little bit weird, you know, maybe you really want to watch it, or you just never, you know, seen or heard of it before, I don't know. I mean, I'd say give it a shot. You know, I didn't get sick. I know some people do get motion sick, like car sick or boat sick or, I don't know, plane sick, whatever. But it is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's unique to every person. If you want to see it, check it out. Again, I got it for like $6, and I highly recommend it. You know, I mean, in terms of the content, it's, you know, not the best film ever. You know, I mean, it's really more about the standout feature of a first-person you know, film. And look, this isn't really a genre of its own yet, and it also isn't really a gimmick either. You know, it's not like, oh, 3D, where they make the 3D really effing annoying, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's a first-person film, but it's not like cheap. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's the world's first-person movie, but it's crap. You know, like, it's well made, it's well shot. But in terms of a story, without getting into too many heavy spoilers, I would say that the story of Hardcore Henry is probably the worst and the weakest aspect. It's essentially a video game film. Think of like Mario, you know, where Mario, Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach, and Mario has to go rescue her. That is essentially the film, right? This dude called Aiken, he's like a telepathic dude that can like lift objects and chuck them at you. And then he essentially, you know, Henry is like this dude getting built from the ground up, kind of like, he essentially got his leg blown off, his arm blown off, his eyes were blown. He basically got exploded. And, you know, his wife is kind of piecing him back together with like this, you know, crazy cool technology stuff. And, you know, it's a unique plot, for sure. I mean, it's not bad, but it essentially boils down to Henry is a badass action hero, and the bad guy steals the good guy's wife, and then the good guy has to rescue the wife from the bad guy. It's classic Mario stuff, you know, it's very bare bones storytelling, but, you know, it works, because you don't want to have this crazy, you know, lore intensive, or this crazy, oh, well, the canon is, you know, I mean, you don't want to get like Star Wars or Ninjago type of, you know, involvement, because then it winds up, you know, smacking itself in the face, and you know, you don't want to take this film seriously, and it is not meant to be taken seriously. I don't mean you should laugh at it and disregard it, because again, this is a big piece of film history. The world's first-person movie, I mean, that's a big deal, you know, crazy. And it's insane that we haven't had any yet. I mean, I guess maybe, oh, you know, people are kind of nervous, you know, apparently it was like $2 million budget and made $16 million. So it made money, it was not a failure, but, you know, you don't want to have like the world's first-person Star Wars movie, or the first-person Marvel, first-person DC, you know, because that might flop. This is more of an, I don't want to say it's an indie film, but it's not a big, you know, franchise household name. and that's why they were probably able to go with it. But it is well made, for sure. The first-person fight scenes are great. I was not sick at all. The acting is good. Again, you're essentially the main character. And, when I watched the film, I wasn't like, wow, I'm killing that guy. I'm shooting that terrorist. I'm snapping that dude's neck on screen. I'm not insane. I don't watch the film and be like, oh, I'm doing that. That's me. I don't know if you do that. But, when I play Call of Duty, I'm not sitting there on my couch shooting terrorists going, I did that, Mom. It's just, that's weird. It's kind of weird. But at the same time, it is getting to that point where you do have to kind of suspend your disbelief because technically you're the main character because it's for first person. Technically I'm Henry, even though I'm not thinking that. That's the idea, and it kind of has this really weird framing device where Henry's dad is talking to him. I'm not going to get into heavy spoilers. A point is, the plot is good and it's serviceable for the film and it works. But in terms of a movie, comparing Hardcore Henry to Avengers Endgame or even The Last Jedi or the Lego Ninjago movie, anything, essentially a lot of things I have in my Blu-ray collection are a million times better than this film in terms of a story and plot. But again, you don't want to make this plot very insane or very lore heavy or very talkative because it's a first person badass. It's literally Call of Duty the movie with superpowers. That's basically what it effing is. And it looks great. It's shot well. It's got really funny moments at times. I wasn't expecting to laugh, but some of it's a bit juvenile. There's naked women. I'm not complaining about seeing naked women, but the point I'm trying to say is that we didn't need that. Am I complaining? No. In fact, as a straight man, I'm not complaining. But at the same time, you don't want to make, this is such a big moment in film history that I was like, wow, I got to show this to everyone. But when there's a bunch of naked chicks on the screen, it's a bit awkward to show, to a grandma or to your mom, So, again, as a dude, I'm not complaining about that stuff. But the fact that it's in there, especially in this type of film, being a benchmark in film history, is a bit weird. Again, I know why they did it. The main demographic is adult males. But at the same time, I don't know. It is what it is. Again, I'm not complaining it's in there, but the fact that it is in there is kind of strange. It's like Game of Thrones, The whole reason why many people saw Game of Thrones because of naked women. That was why it was heavily marketed for a while. And same with Mandalorian. Oh, Baby Yoda, Grogu. I know people that don't give a crap about Star Wars, but they watched it because of Grogu, because he's cute. Same thing. But it works for me. I can understand how it wouldn't for some people. That being said, I do think, again, the action scenes are great. It's not that hard to follow. Again, I didn't want to, puke, which is nice. Maybe that's just because I play a lot of COD. I'm not sure. But, again, it's not it's weird, because sometimes there are moments where Henry's beating the snot out of people, and it's like, holy shit, what is going on here? But for the most part, it is very much, easy to get into. So, again, if you're worried about that, I really wouldn't be. Again, story not the greatest. It is very bare bones, but again, it works for this film. CGI looks great. For a $2 million budget, this was a very good looking film. There was only one or two shots in the entire film where I was like, okay, that's a bit CG-ish looking. A lot of it looked practical. When the studio, when Henry is freaking running on buildings and he's parkouring and he's kicking dudes and the blood looks real. It really does look legitimate, and that's what really lended itself to its I guess mature aspect, but also its just a level of insanity. It looks real, and that's what's pretty crazy is that this was like an experimental indie type film, much like the Happy Time Murders, which we're going to review soon, which is the first. Not the first, but you get it. It's directed by Brian Henson, who directed a lot of the Muppet movies, the son of Jim Henson. So it's kind of quote-unquote, the first R-rated Muppet movie, which I'll be reviewing very soon. And it's the same thing like The Evil Dead from the 80s, Sam Raimi. The Evil Dead really pioneered horror. And, I'm assuming Hardcore Henry would pioneer first-person films. I'm not quite sure why there aren't anymore. Again, I'm assuming it's a whole nervousness. Do we really want to make a first-person film and have it bomb? This didn't bomb, though, and it actually was pretty good. I don't know if the critics were too happy about it, but my real issue is the story. It is very bare bones, and it's not really that compelling. But there are elements in the film, which I'm not going to spoil, that are cool. There's some cool twists and turns. It's a really fun, badass action movie for just to get a bunch of your dude friends over and watch it and have a good time. It really is like Call of Duty the film, and that's the best thing I can say. It's not the most intensive lore film ever, but it doesn't need to be. It's just a fun action movie told from a first-person perspective, and it is a benchmark in Hollywood film history. And, you know, maybe it's not the best film ever made, but in terms of what they were trying to do, which was make a first-person action film, they 100% succeeded, and I'm very glad I saw it. Again, I'm glad I didn't want to vomit. That's nice. But again, tell me in the comments down below what you thought about Hardcore Henry. Did you see it? Do you want to see it? Again, if you're truly just kind of nervous about motion sickness, I would give it a go. It takes a minute to, you know, kind of get used to it, because again, it's the first-person film, and you know, our eyes are accustomed to third-person, you know, traditional filmmaking. And it, you know, it takes a minute, but after, I'd say 5 minutes, I was 100% on board. Very funny moments at times, great action, looks really good, good music in it for the most part. I'm not a big fan of Queen, but I guess it's alright. And I'm glad I saw it, for sure. And again, to be like, I felt like I was witnessing a new era in filmmaking, much like The Evil Dead did, or even, you know, stuff like 1917, or Birdman, where they make it look like, is it Birdman? Michael Keaton? Maybe, I don't know. It's like you know, one continuous shot, even though it isn't, you know. Just clever editing. It's the same thing here, you know. There are edits in this. It's not like a consecutive one-shot thing. But, you know, the whole first-person aspect, very unique. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Tell me what you think. Again, it is not for everyone, especially if you get motion sickness. If you're you know, young, of course, like I said, there's F-words, there's violence, there's naked women, there's drugs. It's definitely not a family-friendly film, but you know, even though it is rated R, if you're old enough, or, you know, if you're 17, 18, whatever, I saw it at 23, it very much is a film I really highly recommend. It's not the best film ever, but in terms of making a big, I almost said big stain, a big mark on Hollywood, it definitely succeeded, and I'm really shocked there are no more first-person action films out there. Anyway, tell me in the comments down below what you thought. Don't really spoil it. I know it's an old film, but what are you going to do? I'm going to go cough my lungs out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, Hardcore Henry, I'll probably give it, in terms of what they were setting out to do, A+. I mean, they succeeded on that wholeheartedly. In terms of an actual film, I would probably give it like an A-. I think it's very, very well made, but the story is really what holds it back. Anyway, I can't wait to watch it again. Maybe I'll watch it with one of my buddies or something. I don't know. Hopefully we'll get a sequel or another first-person film one day soon, because I think this is a pretty cool format to get involved in and really, you know, fall in love with, because it was really cool and unique. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.